rock and roll. All right, let's go here. All right. We are live. Maybe. Yeah, we're live. Okay. All right, folks, we're live. Welcome back. It is... Yeah, there we go. Make sure this is muted over here on YouTube so that I don't get feedback. And I do believe it is. It is. All right. Hey, y'all. What's up, Fresno Dad? Alan Clayton here. It is Wednesday night, February 1st. We have a lot that we could talk about today, but really what I want to focus on is this job openings report. Now, it came out that there were a little over 11 million job openings. Yeah, I don't know how the likes go on here. I'm not really sure. I can't give myself likes, so I don't know. But we had 11 million job openings in the month of December. Now, I think most of that is seasonal based on what I was looking at as I'm scrolling down through the table A, job openings, hires, and totals, separations by industry. It says seasonally adjusted, but I think this is seasonal. It's still fewer than a year ago. We'll see how the January number comes out, because the January number is really where we may see the bottom drop out on job openings. Because, again, I think a lot of these were... I think a lot of them were seasonal. Because really some of the biggest jumps were in retail trade, and there was one for arts, entertainment, and recreation. Accommodation and food services had the biggest jump. So that is typically your Kansas, or not your Kansas. That's typically your just your wintertime, your Christmas hiring advance. Like that's where you do your hiring blitzes, and actually you do them in November. And there actually weren't as many job openings in November, which is weird. The number went down in November, and then up in December. We'll see how it plays out when the numbers come in later in the month of February. Man, words are hard tonight. Oh my goodness. So I'm reasonably certain this number is going to come down, but I'm also reasonably certain this number is wrong. Because when you go look at the number of hires, the number of hires do not necessarily match up with the number of job openings. It's very interesting. Usually there's a little bit of a disconnect. You're going to have more job openings than hires, but this is a pretty big gap, and I want to see how this plays out. Now, this plays into the Federal Reserve came out today, and they hiked rates another 0.25%. Look, I think they're going to have to keep raising rates. I think they're just going to have to. There is too many things going on. Like especially if you look over at the Federal Reserve balance sheet, which I have up on YouTube. If you go all the way back to 08, like 09, was the financial crisis, and we had a little bit of a pop in assets held by the Federal Reserve. And how the Federal Reserve does things is they buy assets from the banks, mostly mortgages, and that puts money and liquidity into the system. Well, as they continue to do that, then there's more and more money in the system and more liquidity. People end up putting more money. They buy more cars, they buy more houses, they buy more boats, they buy more stuff. They put money into the market, they pay off debt. And that is actually, they've been pumping money into the market since 2009, and they continue to do so. And they really have done a poor job of pulling money out of the economy over the last, what is that? 14 years now. So they've done a really poor job of that. Now, right now, the assets are coming down. The Federal Reserve's assets are moving back in the right direction, back toward zero, but it's a long way, because they have $8.4 trillion on their balance sheet. And all the way back in 2008, before the housing crisis started, they had $909 billion. That's it, $909 billion. And now they have $8.4 trillion of assets on their books. And they kept buying this stuff to keep liquidity into the economy. And that does not... You can't play that game long term. You just can't. Hey, I got some folks over here. Jessica Olson, good to see you. Sherilyn, good to see you. Y'all have to let me know. You can't share me on here. That's a bummer. Oh, yeah, I guess I can share me, but I guess not. Yeah, shares are a little bit harder between Instagram and YouTube. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. But hey, you know what? Tonight's really the last night that I'm going to be live on both of these, because tomorrow night I get to go live back on the Ticker Talk Parade, and that is that'll be much more fun. We'll get we'll get 1 hour in, because we'll just start at 10 o'clock tomorrow night, because of what we're doing over on TikTok. So we'll just start on there. I may do YouTube and then go back over to TikTok. I don't know. I'm not real fond of the Instagram platform. It's interesting. I definitely like TikTok better. I've been live on Clapper, and I like that better. But yeah, TikTok is really, really good for creators. They do a fantastic job. For as much as everybody hates them, it's just a matter of, hey, who do you want to have your information? Do you want the CIA to have it, or do you want China to have it? Because either way, somebody's getting it, and it's being sold all over the place. If you're not paying for the product, then you are the product. So it's just how it is. It's the game that's played, whether we like it or not. It's the way to get the message out. And we have to learn to speak in code so that we can get around the algorithms till they start to figure it out. All right. So again, the Federal Reserve raised rates today. It's not enough. Lebanon cut their currency. They devalued their currency by 90%. They reset it. That's actually a good thing, because that means we're not propping them up anymore. So I like that. There's starting to be some currency resets. Some of it just has to do with you know, how many US dollars they're getting. And right now, since we don't have a debt ceiling established, a new one, I'm not sure a lot of these countries are getting money from the U.S. So in some ways, it may be good that we're having this debt ceiling fight, because then it keeps countries from actually getting a bunch of money from us. Yes, 0.25%, Crystal. Yes. What happens beside the 0.25 point? You were hoping for a 50 rate. Yeah, unfortunately, they're coming down a quarter this month, and I think a quarter next month. I don't really know if this is technically considered January's, even though it's February 1st. So I would imagine it's February. We'll get one in March. But yeah, no, the job openings report is one of those that it's very odd. Some of this I am pretty sure is seasonal, because the job openings, they are around leisure and hospitality and retail. Now, I'm losing track of my train of thought because I got punched in the head a couple times tonight. When you have bad job openings numbers, right? So the Federal Reserve is basing a lot of their rate decisions off of this report right here. They're basing it off of. That's one of the things. There's a multitude of things, but one of the things they're basing it off of is how hot is the job industry. And it's interesting because ADP's numbers were lower for hires, but yet this report says that they're higher, but ADP was lower, and they missed, but this one hit. So there's a lot of conflicting information out there, and the Fed is actually hip to it. They know that this number is not right. They've even come out and said it. I believe it was last month would be January. December, they came out and they said that there is some funny business going on with the job openings report and the non-farm payroll report, because there is a disconnect between job openings, layoffs, and jobs being filled. The math doesn't add up. So they're on that, and I think that's why we saw the rate hike at 0.25 point. But they still have to continue to pull money out of the economy. They just do. Van Dramen, what's up? Sorry, I'm flipping back and forth here between YouTube and Instagram. But I think the Federal Reserve is going to have to take big steps as more and more countries may be joining BRICS. This is not verified. I'm not sure if it's a rumor or a scare tactic or a psyop or what. I haven't seen anything to back this up. But I have heard some whisperings that Germany may be joining BRICS. Germany's kind of in charge of NATO. If Germany joins BRICS, NATO pretty much could be done. So that would maybe be good for the war in Ukraine. It might stop us from sending more money and arms over to Ukraine. But this is just a wait and see game. A lot of people are jumping to conclusions on some of this news that's out there in terms of what it means for the dollar. The only big news that has come out in terms of what it means for the dollar is Iran and Russia joining to circumvent sanctions, because they basically have created a pathway of trade into India without having to really go through any of the, because most of the sanctions are based on marine traffic. Well, they're not doing anything marine. They're doing it through the air. They're doing it over the ground. So yeah, that was kind of the biggest thing that came out. Your mom's processed mortgages since 1984, laid off again since May. She's applied for so many jobs, retail, corporate, etc. Jobs are going away before they are filled. Target, Costco, definite retraction there. Yeah, and you know it's I don't know what you guys are seeing on YouTube, but yeah, the numbers are they're not lining up. So maybe we'll start to see some of that adjust, and maybe we won't. I don't know. But as each of these reports come out, we'll get a better idea. This is why you have to have more than one data point. It always blows me away that there's so many of these social media financial gurus that literally have no idea what they're talking about. And they take one data point and they run with it. And they have no idea how it fits into the whole big picture. Sometimes they take a data point that doesn't have anything to do really with the puzzle, and they run with it, and it's like you guys are focused on something that just doesn't matter. So mortgage applications were down 9%. I think I went over that earlier. Job openings, yeah, I am not buying that number. I have not looked at crude oil. I've actually had a client. I was working on some stuff today. Actually had lunch with a friend and was working on some stuff for a client. So I didn't get into the oil, although I'll probably bring that up here in a minute and we can take a look at it together over on YouTube. Korea's inflation rate, 5.2, not great. I don't like the way they do their CPI number. I'm not going to try and explain that, because I suck at explaining how they do it that way. I understand how it is, but I can't explain it. I hate it when that happens. When you understand something on a really high level, and then you try to explain it to somebody, and you're like, "Well, I know what it is, but I sure can't explain it." I'm looking at my hopefully you guys aren't seeing this, just me scrolling up and down on the jobs report, because I've been on a couple different things since then. Russian industrial production is down 4.3%. That's interesting because they're a country at war, and yet their industrial production is down 4.3%. Does that sound like a country that's at war to anybody? Because that sure doesn't sound like a country that's at war to me. All right. I found this today. I don't want to lie to you. Everybody wants everything to go electric. I've been seeing a lot of layoffs in the EV markets, in the EV industry, with companies making batteries, companies making cars. Lots and lots of layoffs in EV. And yet here, over on oilprice.com, India is set to crank up their coal power to meet soaring demand. That doesn't really sound like a company that or a country that's going green anytime soon. Could be wrong, but doesn't sound like they're going green. Trying to get you all pulled up on YouTube because, man, going live on YouTube is kind of interesting. I'm going to turn my... just bring it back up. YouTube live is the best out of the 3 views. You can rewind the live anytime, minimize the screen, and still listen. Oh, yeah, pretty cool. For me, it's very clunky on my end, so I don't. It's kind of hard for me to tell what you guys are looking at. I have to switch back and forth to read the comments. All right, tomorrow. What am I looking at tomorrow? All right, so tomorrow I am looking at where is it at? Oh, here we go. I'm actually looking, I don't normally look at initial jobless claims, but since the job openings number is really high, I'm really interested in what that's going to come in at tomorrow. I'm interested in factory orders tomorrow as well, because factory orders are down, yet factory hiring was up according to the job opening report. So that kind of doesn't match, really. Unless they're getting ramped up for what they think is going to be more ordering. I'm not sure. I am curious about the Japan 3-month bill auction tomorrow. That's of interest to me. And Singapore retail sales, actually year over year, are of interest to me. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then really for Friday, the only thing I'm looking at is the non-farm payrolls. Labor participation rate, I'm not really interested in. It's as high as it's been in a really long time. So for those that don't know, labor participation rate just means what percentage of the working eligible population actually has meaningful, gainful employment. So, and we're at 62.3%. And I don't think it's going to move much. I mean, even when it goes down a lot, like we get to 60%. So, average hourly earnings ought to be interesting. But the non-farm payroll report is the one I really want to look at, because that is the one report that really tells me a lot. And it has not disappointed. It has given me some really interesting numbers this year. But let's cruise on over to Zero Hedge and see if anything interesting has popped up. Zero Hedge has been trashed the last few weeks. Oh, I didn't talk about this, but Goldman Sachs actually cut the pay of their CEO, and they cut the pay of a lot of their investment bankers. So I thought that was kind of interesting. That guy, I don't know. I've seen him in a couple of interviews, and he seems to know what's up. This is the second time he's had his pay cut since State Farm has temporarily stopped writing new business to cover Hyundai and Kias. Interesting. There's been this theft issue with Hyundai and Kia. Supposedly they haven't been installing their anti-theft devices, and now I guess State Farm is not covering them. And that could be a challenge going forward. However, maybe not for me, but I wonder how if they still insure cars that don't have their anti-theft devices in it from, I don't know, from however long ago. Yeah, I've had to go to a lot of different places. Because, you know, if you guys, I'm sure you guys can see Zero Hedge. I actually don't have my premium right now. But, kind of just blah. Nothing really of interest on here. Oh, Pfizer CEO made misleading statements on vaccinating children against COVID-19. No, you don't say. I've only been talking about this for a year and getting banned on freaking social media all over the place because they don't, you know, the all-powerful Bourla, Andrew Bourla, and his minions. I think this guy kind of looks like Skeletor, even though in my my Villain Justice League, I don't know. Maybe y'all can give me. We need to come up with names for all these dudes. Let's see. PA.org. Let's go. This is it. Mortgage Bankers Association. I think this is it. No. Yeah, it is. Boom. All right, folks. Actually, YouTube is pretty good because you guys get to really see where I go to get a lot of my data. A lot of my info. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Decrease 9%. I haven't even looked at some of this stuff yet. So y'all are seeing it the first time with me. Mortgage rates declined for the fourth straight week. Did they? I thought they went up last week. Oh, mortgage rates have declined. Okay, never mind. Read that wrong. I read that wrong about every week. I read that as mortgage applications have fallen for the fourth straight week. It's mortgage rates. Refinance share of mortgage is now 31.2%. This is the big one here. The adjustable rate mortgage ARM has increased to 6.7. So last year, this got up to about 10% of mortgages when the rates were still low. So this is good that we're seeing less adjustable rate mortgages. I like that. Nothing to see here. All right, just boring old stuff. A little bit of just some numbers. You screenshot a few of their web pages already. All right, let's go to the big one here. Weekly oil inventory. This is the big boy right here. Oil inventories. No, that's not what I want. I was... I want the whole thing. Is this it? This can't be it. This is just the highlights. This is one page. Did they move it? I think they moved it. Psh, they did. Now they've just got it page by page. Oh, I hate that. Dang. Oh, well, this sucks. It is what it is. All right, crude oil. Up. Yes, good. Gasoline. Up. Yes, good. Distillates. Up. Yes, good. So, remember when we were all going to run out of diesel back in November, and we still haven't run out of diesel yet, and I told y'all not to worry about it? Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Domestic production, good. SPR, Strategic Petroleum Reserve, nothing's been added yet, so still 371 million barrels of oil, and they haven't added anything new yet. So but so we're making progress, but if you look compared to last year, there we go. Compared to last year, look, a year ago we had 1 billion barrels of crude oil. Total motor oil is actually approaching where it was last year, yet gas prices are continuing to go up. Distillates 117. We're starting to get a little bit closer to where we were a year ago. We're actually not too far off from where we were a year ago. That's good. Starting to see that come up. Our oil production is the same as it was a year ago. Imports. Wow, we imported a lot more. And we exported a lot less. Well, that's good. We exported less, so that's good. Yeah, there you go. There you have it. There's the kind of the why is diesel so much more than I have no idea, Ben. Makes you wonder why gas is so much more. It's just dumb. I don't know. It shouldn't be. I mean, what is that? That's only... Let's go back here. Well, let's look at our utilization rate. Maybe this will shed some light on it. All right. Crude oil input to refineries is... that might be why, Ben. Crude oil input to refineries is off almost 600 million barrels from a year ago. And actually, refinery utilization's at 85%. There, that might be why the diesel is a little bit more. So, we're just not... Yeah, I think that's what we're looking at. $5 a gallon and regular US 350 here. Okay, well that's a lot. Yeah, I'm back to your comments here. Yeah, I think that's just yeah, I think the capacity utilization being down is also affecting that. So yeah, it's a lot more than just, you know, the inventory numbers, right? You gotta look at utilization. Man, one thing I like about being on YouTube is I can mess my computer around and it won't have any impact really on anything. Let's check some of these other places that I go to. We're going to go ahead and get mortgages out of there. I did see that Iowa is, the state of Iowa is, yeah, they're trying to limit the length of freight trains. That would be good. That would definitely put a crimp in these these freight providers. It would make it a lot harder for them to say, hey, you know, you can only have one conductor, one engineer. You know, that will definitely that'll help. You know, if Iowa does it, maybe some others will come along. Yeah, this is a good website sometimes. This is one of those sites, FreightWaves. You might get, you know, 4 or 5 articles a day that are pretty good, and then you might get a few that aren't so good. So, yeah. All right, let's go check. We haven't been on this one for a while. Powder and bulk solids. This is an industrial site. This will have some stuff periodically that's pretty good. So, Texas Carbuff, Smushy Mama, what's up over on the Instagram side? Hey, hey. Interesting. Dole is selling their fresh vegetables division for $293 million. Oh, here we go. McCormick and Company cutting 10% of its supply chain workforce. That's bad news, folks. McCormick, the spice company. Announcement follows a decline in both sales and profit at the end of 2022. So, yeah, this is where you get into the world of people get laid off and then their stock prices go up. It's a weird world to live in. So, McCormick selling. Well, there's, man, a lot of times you're lucky to find one piece of information on this site. They're going to an affiliate of Fresh Express. Chiquita. All right, so Dole is selling their fresh vegetables division to Chiquita. Interesting. Oop. I wasn't done yet. This is old news. Dow announced this a while ago, cutting 2,000 jobs. And looks like nothing going on there. All right, folks, let's check the SEC.gov. These guys have been busy this month, man. You know, sometimes when we're on TikTok, this is what I'm doing. So this is the one here that I brought up, I think, last night. The SEC proposed a rule to prohibit conflict of interest in certain securitizations. So this really has to do with more than anything. Nope, this isn't. Is this the one? This might not be the same one. There was one of these rules that was proposed to prohibit members of the SEC, the Federal Reserve, from trading on... Oh, no, this isn't that. This rule is intended to prevent the sale of asset-backed securities that are tainted by material conflict of interest. Oh, no, that's what this is. So if you have a conflict of interest or basically insider trading, more or less that's what's going on there. These guys have been busy though, man. Normally they are not this busy. Hey, now, wait a minute. What happened? I don't know what happened. That was weird. That was really super weird. All right, so anything the SEC does, they, you know, a lot of times they'll put stuff out. They'll be just, you know, hey, so and so is now in charge of this. I think we've talked about just about every one of these items, except for the ones where they award money to whistleblowers. So I'm still waiting on my award for my whistleblowing on a lot of people that are on social media. Yeah, see, like this one, who cares? SEC announced departure of Renee Jones and Eric Gurdon, named Director of Divisions Corporate Finance. But yeah, good stuff there. That's where I get a lot of my info from. All right, so it's new month. Hopefully everybody got their New Year's resolutions all taken care of. Your goals for the year, they're all in. They're all good. And everybody's got their financial goals set up. They got their personal goals set up. Spiritual, educational, career goals for the year. How many people have struggled with that? Like, you're already into February and you've already given up. Hey, Ben, no problem, man. But yeah, how many of you are struggling with that beginning of the year malaise where it's winter, you don't know what to do, and you're trying to just make it until the days are longer. Folks, one of the things that I do to keep my head straight is, and I like to listen to music. Listening to music can really, really keep your head straight. And like, just go back to a time in your life and listen to the music from that period where you just like had it going on. And I think that's a great way to to center yourself and go back to that time. And I know I've brought this up before, but gratitude journals and success journals are so dang important. What do you want, Michael?
So, I come news. They've moved up the opening for the KCI terminal to February 28th.
Yeah, we knew that.
Okay. So you know how there's only one security checkpoint at the current KCI terminal? The one for Southwest, right? When you fly?
Well, there's actually 2.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
There is 16 in the new terminal.
Yeah, it's going to be easier to get through security.
And there will be 40 gates. And they'll expand it to 50 in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be nice. The new terminal is going to be sweet. For those that don't know, KCI, Kansas City has built a new terminal, and we are. You wish you had winter down here. Kansas City's built a new terminal, which was long overdue, and it's kind of funny because anybody that flies through Kansas City from other places hates the airport. But people who are from here love the airport. I myself am from here, and I hate the way the airport is currently situated. The airport was built in the 70s. They've never really made any adjustments. 71, opened in 71. They've never really made any adjustments for current security needs. Security, there's a massive pinch point for security. For the longest time, once you got through security, there was no food, no drinks, there was nothing on the inside. Actually, for a while, they didn't even have bathrooms inside security. You had to actually leave the gates, go to the bathroom, and then go back through security.
Do you know why that is? Why KCI is crappy as it is?
I know exactly why it is, Michael.
Why?
Because it was built during a different time.
Yeah, so the year it opened, the very next year is when all of the TSA guidelines got put into place, and they didn't have the space for it.
Yeah.
So they had to move everything around to create just enough.
Yeah, Michael, I'm not new here. I know exactly why they.
Okay, well, but then it got even worse after 9/11 because they had to do.
Yeah, because when it opened, there were no security checkpoints.
No.
You walked in, went right to the gate, got on your plane, and left.
Yeah, can't do that.
And the gate was literally like maybe 30 feet from. You could walk in the door and you're 30 feet from the gate.
That was the whole point.
And people are like, "Oh, I love KCI," and I'm like, "Have you been to KCI? Like walking through KCI? No, you're shoulder to shoulder with people, and it's dumb. It's just dumb."
We got to figure out a date to go see the terminal because we aren't going on opening day. It's so busy.
Well, why? I mean, we're not gonna get to see the whole terminal because you got to go through security to see the whole terminal, and to go through security, you got to have a plane ticket.
We can just go up there and go inside and see it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm picking up somebody. I think it may be a while before I go up to visit the KCI new terminal. We'll yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't know what this is. I don't know what you all are seeing on your screen. I'm looking at my YouTube screen, and it is like nothing that I'm even on or have been on in like 10 minutes. It's kind of crazy. I appreciate y'all letting me rant tonight and just chatter. I know some nights are like that. Did anybody figure out how to share the YouTube yeah, did anybody figure out how to share the YouTube stream? Analytics, edit video. Interesting. So this will be the last night that I'm doing both YouTube and Instagram. So I may still continue to do some lives periodically on Instagram. I don't know. I don't know. But so tomorrow night we will be back on the old TikTok. There is a share button. I see that, but somebody was having problems with it earlier. You're on your phone though. So yeah, tomorrow night we'll start on YouTube, and I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna start on Instagram. But then we'll migrate over to TikTok, and once I'm able to go live over there. And that will be loads of fun. I hate the way that OBS does this, where you're just constantly seeing into a mirror, in a mirror. I hate that. It just drives me nuts. Don't know why it does that. Computer just copy and paste the web address. That's true. All right, folks. So, I mean, didn't have anybody freaking out on anything today. So that's kind of the stuff I like to talk about, because right now we got way too many people freaking out over stuff that don't matter and not focused on the stuff that does. So, keep your eyes and ears open for whether or not Germany is going to join BRICS. Again, whispers about that. Interesting. Lebanon reset its currency, devalued it by 90%. Biggest reason they did that was because they were no longer getting help from us. No more monetary help from us. Why? Because, well, one of the reasons is our debt ceiling is all messed up. What was the other thing that we talked about? Let's see. Oh, jobs report. Job opening report. Weird number. Restaurant, retail were the big numbers for the report. Very odd. It doesn't seem right, especially since we had an increase in job openings in a month when in retail, when a lot of retailers were already saying that they weren't selling general merchandise, so they weren't really needing a lot of help. Non-farm payroll report on Friday, and we will see where we go from here. And tomorrow night, back on TikTok, but I can't get on till 10 o'clock. So with that, y'all, we will see y'all tomorrow night. For as